I really do not expect this to be a sweep. I Firebroth has had quite a story. If he's going to win this match, I think he's going to win it in 7, just like the other two. If this goes less than 7, I think 40 Watt's going to win. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I definitely don't see it being a sweep tonight. I mean, 6 or 7 for sure.
All right, here we go. Both of them have their opening Razor Shield, the correct manipulation to spawn that very important drop. Next drops could decide whether one gains an advantage on another, particularly if that third drop is a Smart Bomb. It's grenades for 40 Watt. Smart Bomb for Firebroth. He decides to use it, and it is the end of the room. They're even.
Yeah, it's a dead heat right now. Going to both get out of there just in under 40 for both of them. Great times.
Yeah, those are excellent times for both runners. So collect power-ups. Let's see what the opening drop is going to be for both runners here. Looking for that all-important orb. A foot for 40 Watt, but a Razor Shield for Firebroth. So maybe a little bit of advantage for Firebroth. He can gain control of the middle, but now he's looking for some weapons. And those Vitamin Rs will sure go a long way towards clearing this room, CHX.
Yeah, 40 Watt's just running around trying to grab whatever he can, hopefully get something to spawn, but he hasn't had much luck in the drop department. Meanwhile, Firebroth's got that Razor Shield, so he's just been controlling the room. He's got a spreader. It should help him clean everything up here.
And he's picking up a couple of feet as well to increase his speed. And, yeah, those good weapons are going to give Firebroth an early lead. Not by much. It's 125 versus a 127. Call it 2.5 seconds. More importantly, 40 Watt did pick up an orb, so Firebroth's going to need to see one here in Eat My Shrapnel, or otherwise 40 Watt is going to take that lead quick.
Yeah, well, Firebroth's doing a good job using these invulnerabilities to take out these shrapnels, keep the room under control, and if he can get an orb to drop in here, it'll be pretty much even room for them if they can do that.
Yeah, Eat My Shrapnel, you have to take out 18 of the Mr. Shrapnel dudes, but only 4 of them can be on the screen at once. And Firebroth is getting a little bit dangerous here. He's had 3 a few times. Problem is, though, still no orb. Firebroth is still going to have the lead. No, it's back to even again. Actually, you could say that 40 Watt's got the lead by virtue of having that orb. Oh, but he loses it!
Oh, yeah, that's unfortunate for 40. That was his advantage right there, and now he's got to get 1, too. It's back to even again.
It certainly is. Of course, right now, 40 Watt has the advantage in the weapon department. A spreader for him, a spreader now for Firebroth, as he'll regain control of the middle. This could come down to who gets either the better drop or the next orb between these two. But right now, Firebroth's doing an excellent job considering the game hasn't given him an orb yet. There's Riot Rockets, Vitamin R, thank goodness.
Yeah, Firebroth's putting up a great pace, using what the game's giving him, taking out these enemies with the rockets, but he just got clubbed right in the center there.
Got a little bit too close to the purple shirt there, and that's going to lose him about a third of those rocket clips. Might give 40 Watt Range the lead right back there. Spreaders now for 40 Watt. He's got a refill on the bottom left corner. Now, Vitamin R for Firebroth. Can he get to it? He does not. He gets clubbed down again. Or for 40 Watt, and he immediately drops it.
Now we got a Razor Shield for Firebroth, so maybe he'll use that offensively. Some of the shrapnel took it out, but he was able to take some guys out with that and clean up the room. He'll get out of here at 223, but 40 Watt's right behind him with a 325.
If he got out of there with a 223 CHX, he'd be on world record pace and then some by about like 30 seconds.
Yeah, I may have been a little dyslexic there.
It's okay. But more importantly, it is time for Taco Bell product placement with Taco Bell. Firebroth has a 2-second lead, and he has some weapon left of that. I believe that was a spreader that he had. So he'll be able to at least take one of the gunners down.
But 40 gets rockets, and he's able to use them to take out both the gunners and maintain center. So now, let's see what he can get here. Shield will help him out, and Firebroth gets taken down by some of the colors over there.
Yeah, this is where maybe we start to have the RNG favors the favorites kind of situation here. Rocket still for Firebroth. Can he regain control of the middle? A Razor Shield and an invulnerability for 40 Watt. So he's been getting good drops. Firebroth, he's been getting good drops too. Right now, this is probably going to be maybe a minor 40 Watt range lead unless the weapons really start to dry up. And now here's an orb for 40 Watt. If he can keep it the rest of the way, he'll have an opportunity to perform what we like to call the ball buster on Mutoid Man.
Yeah, with these drops coming for 40, he's able to clean up the room and get out of there at 441. And that orb really is going to let him clean it up way faster than Firebroth. As you can see, he's got to walk around, get these guys.
He's not that far behind. It's about a 10-second deficit, which doesn't mean anything. But if 40 Watt can land the ball buster, he may have a chance to really maybe gain some ground, but he doesn't get it.
Yeah, Firebroth did a great job of keeping up with what he had. I mean, it's just a matter of drops. And look at the spreader that's in the perfect spot for Firebroth.
Perfect for Firebroth. He will have to deal with those gunners, but another invulnerability could go a long way here. Let's see. It's a lobber. Looks like he's going to change it up now that the invulnerability is run out. Good idea, because he's probably going to get shot down by the gunners. And with that, Firebroth, both arms are popped up. He's got the lead.
He had both arms popped, both gunners still. He took one out now, so he's going to hit him with these rockets. Got some lobbers here. Hopefully, oh no, he got hit when he got him.
Well, hopefully he doesn't. Well, he does get at least something out of it, so it wasn't a total loss. First arm popped up for 40 Watt. Now the weapons. Oh, he gets zapped. If it's a spreader, though, it's going to be a great zap, but unfortunately it's going to cost him to continue. It's a spreader, but in a horrible position. He'll be able to get some damage out of it, though.
Yeah, 40's been able to keep up with these lobbers, just been pounding away with them. But that spreader's going to keep him in the lead and keep him a form ahead.
And an empty drop for 40 Watt. He gets lobbers. Both of them have lobbers now. A refill coming up. Firebroth is a lead by more than a form. 40 Watt needs to see a spreader here quick. Otherwise, he may be down 1-0. However, Mutoid Man being a little bit tricky here. Firebroth missing a lot of shots, and 40 Watt has gained a little bit of ground. However, a lobber refill, if Mutoid Man gets off of it, he does get off of it. 40 Watt with a lobber of his own, but no spreaders yet for 40 Watt. Time is running out. Another lobber for Firebroth. This could do it if he lands his shots. Final form for 40 Watt. It may be too late, and it is too late.
Yeah, those lobbers just carried Firebroth through. I mean, the two spreaders are really what were the difference in that fight. You can see how much of the difference it makes to grab them. But Firebroth's going to get out of here with a 652. And 40's shortly behind. It's going to be like just over 7, I think.
My goodness. Firebroth, that was a 652 orbless, might I point out. 40 Watt takes a 706, about 13 3/4 seconds behind Firebroth. But it is Firebroth, the underdog, the Cinderella story, taking home game number 1.
That's just incredible. You just can see how much that Firebroth's learned about the game from his ability to keep up without the orb. You know that the runners that have been putting in the work by what they do when they get the bad drops to keep up.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, exactly. I mean, the skills were definitely there for Firebroth. He did extraordinarily well with what the game gave him throughout that entire arena. Had a good Mutoid Man fight, got a couple of timely spreaders, and those spreaders were what enabled him to come from behind and take game number 1. But it's a best of 7, long ways to go.
Yeah, that's what this game takes. Takes a little bit of skill, a little bit of luck, and for it all to come together at the right time. All right, and LLZ is counting the guys in right now, so we'll be underway shortly.
Absolutely. Here we'll see if Firebroth can take a commanding 2-0 lead, or if 40 Watt can equalize and essentially make this a best of 5.
Good luck.
All right, CHX, we are underway. Game number 2 between 40WattRange and Firebroth. Firebroth taking home the first game. 40 Watt looking to tie it up. Let's see what happens. Both of them have their Razor Shield, and both of them, remember, last time out had a sub-40 coming out of Arena 1, which is very rare to see both runners get, so we'll see if this happens 2 times in a row.
Yeah, you see how 40 hugged the right wall there at the beginning, killing all those guys. Well, Firebroth took more of the center approach,
yes.
But they both work out pretty well.
It might be a quarter of a second lead, if that. And they both have a low 39. That's crazy. They're even again.
Yeah, basically just neck and neck right now. So good starts for both of them. Let's see what this first drop is.
Last time the rune drops favored Firebroth until the end when 40 Watt got a late orb. Slight advantage for 40 Watt with that invulnerability. When you don't have an orb, that's a good thing to have because it'll enable you to shred through the Mr. Shrapnels and the Swarmers. Back-to-back grenades, though, for Firebroth. He can't like seeing that. A foot for 40 Watt. So right now, these drops are nothing to write home about, CHX.
Yeah, this room's being pretty unforgiving to these guys right now, just giving them a bunch of garbage all over the place. So they're just gonna do what they can. And Firebroth's got some rockets. That'll help them clean up the room at least.
Yeah, absolutely here. Then a spreader comes up at the end, but 40 watt, it's gonna be no for Firebroth because the rockets enabled him to take out the shrapnel is at the end. He'll gain about a second on 40 watt.
Yeah, then he had a spreader to start the next room, let him clear out all of those swarmers or.
Again, the lack of orb, but this time it's the lack of orb for both players here in Eat by Shrapnel. Razor Shield will help Firebroth gain control of the middle, but rockets for 40 watt will enable him to shred through everything. He almost got clubbed down at the door, though.
Yeah, you got to be careful when you go for those drops right in front of the door. The game will like to troll you, pop a guy out. And
look at this. It's Firebroth who gets the first orb of this one.
And that's going to be advantage Firebroth. They're both going to come out of the room about the same time, but with that orb, if he can hold on to it, that's his advantage.
That's going to be the key, is holding on to that orb. Firebroth keeping that 1 second lead. Good drops to start, a Razor Shield followed by rockets and a spreader for 40 watts. So far, at least the weapons are keeping 40 watt afloat. But the longer he goes without an orb, and if the weapons start to dry out, and Firebroth can keep that orb. But an orb now, 40 watt at the feet, CHX.
And that Razor Shield enabled him to pretty much keep up. He had rockets, so he probably didn't lose very much time with that orb drop right in the center.
If the weapons continue to dry up for Firebroth, he actually might gain time on him and take the lead back. Firebroth, again, doing a really good job keeping control of the middle with what the game has given him. And right now in this room, the game hasn't given him anything. 40 watt, meanwhile, another spreader for him.
Firebroth's doing a good job, though, of staying center there. He was staying in that little red square of arrows there, and it keeps the guys from spreading out on you. He only left when he had weapons to get, and he's able to keep right up.
We're literally tied going into the bonus room. You gotta love that, CHX.
This is great. I mean, this is what you want to see. You want to see two runners pace right next to each other. Let's see who can take out and take trouble. Let's see who's got the better skill. Let's see who can use what they got. Let's see who can get some Taco Bell.
Yep, quick product placement with Taco Bell as they are dead even. No weapons for either player to start tank trouble. The opening drop is going to be critical for both. Smart Bomb for 40 watt, grenades for Firebroth, advantage 40 watt. He can use the nuke, take out one of the gunners while the spreaders the foot soldiers are away. As Firebroth drops the orb, and that's just the power. Better drops for the favorite 40 watt. So rockets now to go with that orb. So clearly 40 watt now in the lead in this game, but rockets for Firebroth to at least keep us honest.
40 doing a good job of not dropping that orb. There's been a couple times where he's gotten really close to dropping it, but able to take out those swarmers, maintain the center, more rockets, so he's just going to clear everything out now. Yeah, he's going to get out of here with like a 421.
That was a really quick tank trouble there for 40 watt. He's definitely got the lead here, and that's just not only great drops for 40 watt, but also professional skills coming into play. Don't forget, he was the 3rd annual tournament winner, but don't count Firebroth out again. He's only 11 seconds back, has 2/3 of a rocket clip. He'll be able to take out the gunners up front, and then hope for some spreaders to come from behind again. This is anybody's game.
Yeah, 40's got some more lobbers here. He started with lobbers, and then he's got a spreader drop. He sees it, and he's going to get it.
Yeah, 40 watt's going to be able to take the lead. But he's
trolled.
Ooh, a bad break there for 40 watt. Yikes.
That could be the opening for Firebroth to gain some ground on him now. They both got lobbers, so as long as they're landing shots, 40 should stay about a form ahead.
Yeah, 40 watt is roughly a form, maybe a little less than a form lead on Firebroth. Empty drop for Firebroth. He's able to pick that up. He's looking for another spreader to take the lead back. It's another lobber. Spreader, though, for 40 watt. He's going to have to try a manual, though. Trying to wait for that.
And he looks like he's getting some good damage in there. He got a little bit of it.
He got a little bit of it, but Firebroth has kept pace with these lobbers. There's another spreader, though, for 40 watt. This could be the one that gives him the win. Final form now for 40 watt. There's a spreader for Firebroth. If he gets enough transfer damage, he could steal.
This is going to be close. It depends on how much transfer damage 40 got on that first spreader.
40 watt is missing a lot of shots, and Firebroth has come from behind on the transfer damage, CHX. Unbelievable.
That's unbelievable. It just shows you that transfer damage is so powerful on that last form. If you can get it all, it's the difference in a match. And we're only 2 seconds apart there.
Less than 2 seconds difference between Firebroth and 40 Watt. It looked like 40 Watt had it in the bag, but the transfer damage was the difference, CHX. Firebroth got it all. 40 Watt couldn't quite get enough of it, needed to land some shots, and by the time he landed them, too late. Firebroth steals it, and he is up 2-0, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, Firebroth coming out swinging. He's not going to go down without a fight, and it just shows, you can't give up on these tournament races. Even if you think you're not in the lead, it can flip at the last second.
Just absolutely crazy stuff. 6-0X, yet another game, CHX, where a 6-0X loses. Can you believe that?
Yeah, last season you hear that and it was like unheard of. This season it's like every week you hear about one.
And it looks like we do have a channel prediction underway. Let's take a look at it. Will 40 be able to tie the series? So I'm assuming that has to do with 2-2. So you think 40WattRange is going to take the next 2 games? I'm assuming that's what that question means.
Yeah, I think he's going to try his hardest. Firebroth's putting up a good fight, though. I think that 40's not going to be playing relaxed now. He's got to fight uphill now. So we're going to see some of his. Maybe we'll see some more gameplay come out of him that's really good.
And yeah, absolutely, Fur on Burgundy with the Rip Taylor $1.98 beauty show reference. Yep, I totally got that reference. Well played. One of my commentator partners during the tournament who's been doing a lot of commentary for the Super Smash TV. Fur on Burgundy, doing a great job as always. Both runners are ready. I'm going to count them down.
Good luck.
Man, we've had some close games so far, CHX. 40WattRange in some trouble. He cannot afford to go down 3-0 against Firebroth. Here we go. Game number 3. 40WattRange, Firebroth. Both of them have their opening Razor Shield. And it looks like, unfortunately, 40 Watt, we're going to have to slow down Firebroth's feet just for a moment.
Yet again, both of them are like holding the middle. 40 Watt had a smart bomb there at the end he used, and they're both going to get out of here at pretty decent times.
I think 40 Watt's going to have the lead. Yeah, it's a high 40 versus a 38, a mid 38 for 40WattRange. Yeah, 40 Watt has the whole shot by a good 2 seconds.
But Firebroth gets an orb basically on his feet to start the room, and that's going to be advantage. Firebroth with a Razor Shield to follow it up, so he'll be able to just stand center and clear everything out.
Right now, the rich are getting richer, but as I say that, CHX, an orb for 40 Watt to enable to at least keep pace.
Yeah, if both of them are able to hold center and use what they got, Firebroth might be able to shave down the lead. Might get close to even.
Holy
there.
smokes, a 118, a hot time for Firebroth, and a 118 for 40 Watt. 2 hot times going into Eat My Shrapnel. They're virtually even, but look out for that swirl. Oh, that came dangerously close to hitting Firebroth there.
Yeah, he was somehow able to like kneel around those swirl pieces and take out those shrapnels. So he's not going to lose too much time. There was 4 on the screen for a second, but he did what he could to keep that orb.
However, 40 Watt lost his orb in the shuffle there, so now he needs to find a replacement here where Firebroth can take a big lead on 40 Watt. My goodness gracious. Firebroth, nope, not quite done with the room yet. He got about 1 more left to go. And he's in there at 2 flat as we're going to slow it down so we can get them all caught up. High 2 for Firebroth. 40 Watt is at a high 204. He's 4 seconds back and no orb.
Yeah, that orb being stolen from him was able to, he wasn't able to keep the shrapnels under control, and he had to clean them up, losing time at the end of that room.
just didn't get the weapons. If you're not going to have an orb, the game has to give you weapons or else you're going to be in trouble. Rockets for 40 weapons. So far, Firebroth not getting any weapons to complement that orb. Last time this happened, though, he did a really good job containing the middle with what the game gave him to work with. 40 watt out of rockets. Now he gets a dude. So this room being torturous for both runners so far, but now more rockets for 40 watt.
As long as you can stay center with that orb, you can put up good times in this room. It's all about making sure you don't make these swarmers all spread out all over the place. And by staying center, they target you, they stay in your firing lanes, and you can take them out in about like 52, 55 seconds, somewhere in that range.
Weapons have definitely favored 40 watt in this room. Firebroth, I don't think, has gotten a single weapon. However, in spite of that, the power of the orb right there, just as you mentioned, CHX, a 308. However, 40 watt gained about a second, maybe a second and a half on Firebroth because he just simply got better weapons, made the most of them, and still in striking distance. As once again, it is time for Taco Bell, product placement with Taco Bell.
Yeah, this is still anybody's game, and it's going to come down to like who gets the better drops and who knows how to use them. Tank Trouble is usually your definitive room for who gets the lead and who doesn't. And Firebroth gets a Razor Shield, but that shrapnel just disintegrates it from him.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a tough spot for Firebroth to be in. He was able to take down one of the gunners. Well, here's a rocket. A chance now for Firebroth to get a breather. If he can get the other gunner down, he does. Rockets for 40 watt, both gunners down on his side. So Firebroth can have a chance to gain control of that middle with both of the gunners down. He just has to watch out for the tanks and the shrapnels. Rockets, though, for 40 watt as Firebroth drops the orb.
And that could be a swing right there, unless Firebroth can grab these rockets and maintain center.
What a grab there by Firebroth. He had to go through a lot of the foot soldiers to not get run over there. 40 watt range, though, looks like he's going to take the lead. We do have a lead change at 4:25. Once again, Firebroth in striking distance. He's been trailing every game going into Mutoid Man. Just 7 seconds this time, CHX.
Yeah, I mean, with all the rockets that 40 got in the last room, he was able to just stay center and use them to just take the time right back from Firebroth.
Firebroth gets another opening spreader. He's had opening spreaders in all 3 games so far, being a little bit conservative this time again with the gunners attached. You certainly can't fault him for that, as he does get shot. Lobbers for 40 watt as they both pop an arm. Firebroth with a little bit of a lead as he was able to get some spreader damage in. I don't know if maybe got the ball buster as well. Oh, but here's a spreader for 40 watt if Mutoid Man doesn't block it. But he's blocked it! Are you serious? So much for the RNG favoring the favorites. The RNG is disfavoring the favorites.
And that's going to let Firebroth catch up. He's about maybe a half form behind. They both have lobbers, so we'll see who pops the next one. For the spreader.
He's blocking it again! He's blocked it again! Can he get it? No! He's blocked it again!
That was a risky grab. It was really far away.
Unbelievable. And another empty drop. Now a lobber for CHX. That's a spreader for Firebroth. That might be too late. That might be too late. He's too late!
That was like last frame. I thought he had it.
Oh, that could be a turning point. But Firebroth still has the lead, but the weapon advantage is 40 watts with the lobbers. Now lobbers for... Oh, that was a good grab, a dangerous grab there by Firebroth. A lobbers now. Another spreader for Firebroth. He should be able to get this one. No, he's not. It's too late. I thought he had it too.
That would win the game if he got that, but he just too late for it. He's got lobbers now. 40's on the final form with an empty drop.
Oh, look at this! Another spreader! If he gets the transfer damage, he's going to steal it again!
Unbelievable. He's got final form.
Who's going to finish? And Firebroth does it again!
Unbelievable. 2 races in a row. Firebroth steals with transfer damage. You don't see that. That's unbelievable. I don't have words.
Me neither. 2 races in a row that Firebroth steals it on transfer damage. I'm at a loss for words. I'm out of my mind. You can hear it in my voice. I've gone crazy because this... Are we seeing this?
It looked like 40 had it in the bag, but that's how this game goes. The games didn't give 40 the drops he needed. Firebroth got the perfect drop in the perfect spot at the perfect time, and He capitalized on it, stole the game. 3-0 Firebroth coming uphill.
This Cinderella story continues for Firebroth. He is one victory away from a date with CHX 42 in the winter semifinals. And now 40 Watt is going to have to do something that has not been done in this entire tournament. Best of 5 or best of 7 CHX. He's going to have to pull off the reverse sweep.
Good luck.
Well, if anybody can do it, 40WattRange is the person to pull it off.
Oh, there's no question about it. Again, he's a former champion for a reason. He's been in these kind of situations before, but man, Firebroth absolutely showing the skills. But let's face it, he's had a lot of luck in that Mutoid Man fight. Missing spreaders twice by, matter of frames, but then gets the perfect spreader, as you mentioned, at the perfect time. Got maximum transfer damage, and once again stole the race from 40 Watt. I don't believe it.
I mean, it shows he knows what he's doing. He knows how to play the game. He knows how to capitalize on those big plays when they come up, and that's what makes a good player in this game. And I see LOZ has got the guys counted in, so in a second here, we will be underway.
My goodness gracious. 40WattRange going to have to win 4 games in a row. Now, keep in mind, in the very first match against Space Colonizer, Firebroth was ahead 2 games to nothing. Space Colonizer was able to force a 5th and deciding game. Let's see if 40 Watt can pull off the same magic, or if Firebroth does the unthinkable and gets a 4-0 sweep on the 3rd annual champion. Here we go, CHX.
And they both got that Razor Shield again. You see 40 going to the right door while Firebroth hangs in the center, the same setup they've been using all day. And both doing a good job cleaning these guys up. Firebroth gets a nuke on the feet. I don't think he really wanted to grab that one. And, he'll get out of here probably a second. No, actually, they're right on time. Their timers are about the same.
Yeah, their timers are equal. 40 Watt is going to have the whole shot, but we're talking maybe a second. So 40 Watt has a little bit of a lead. But the way that the RNG has been going, that may not be enough here. So let's see what the opening drops are going to be for both of these runners. Spreader for 40 Watt versus an invulnerability for Firebroth. And Firebroth's going to ignore the invulnerability. It was not in a great spot, but right now it's an advantage 40 Watt with these weapons. As I say that, though, first orb belongs to Firebroth.
With a Razor Shield on the feet to follow. And I mean, the RNG has just been favoring Firebroth in this first room for sure today.
Oh, no question about it. Now rockets for 40 Watt. So, again, better weapons. But again, that orb, if Firebroth's able to keep it, and yes, indeed, it is going to be Firebroth out of the room first, but maybe by a 1/10 of a second. It's really close.
Yeah, 40 got those rockets right at the end, helped him clean everything up, stay on pace, and now he's just going to be searching for that orb in here and trying to clean up everything and make sure he doesn't lose time to these shrapnels.
Firebroth did a good job taking down the swirl, and now there's an orb for 40WattRange. So as long as both of these runners keep the foot soldiers and the Mr. Shrapnels under control, we should be even coming out of this room for both.
Guys are getting close up on 40. He's got to get out of the center a little, but he's still not losing time there. He's still able to keep these guys under control.
Meanwhile, Firebroth not getting any weapons to take out the Mr. Travels, and 40 Watt going to get a rocket. He's probably going to take the lead on that. No, he's not. Yes, he is. Maybe by a... No. Well, you know what? Yes, he did take the lead. 1/10 of a second. He got a 1/5 of a second back on Firebroth.
Basically neck and neck, though, and they both got weapons to clear everything out here to start. Both got orbs. Let's see what happens.
There's rockets for 40 Watt, so both getting really good weapons, able to keep control of the middle. A smart bomb will give 40 Watt a breather, but a key for Firebroth. That's not the weapon he is looking for. And now a Razor Shield for 40 Watt. This will assure him that he can take control of the middle unless the game decides to tempt him with some good drops.
Yeah, it's been solid gameplay out of 40 in this room. I mean, the drops have been good for him too, but like, he used his weapons right, and then he used that smart bomb, got the guys in this firing lane, never left the center, so they're not all over the place, and he's going to clean it up real nice. Out of there at 303.
Smart bomb to on the feet. Firebroth got advantage. 4 seconds is the lead for 40 Watt. They both have the orb. Neither player has any weapons to take with them. So we've played 4 games. We've got 4 times the Taco Bell, product placement with Taco Bell. Ugh. What will the opening drop be for 40? Oh, it's Rockets! And now maybe the RNG is starting to turn the tide as Firebroth gets a foot. Terrible drop for him. So this may be the opportunity 40WattRange has to maybe build up, a 20, 30-second lead, depending on what happens with Firebroth and his orb.
Yeah, 40's getting the drops that he wants right now. He's got everything cleared out. He's able to just stay center, kill these guys, stay focused on keeping the room clean, grab these spreaders because it's close, and he'll just clean up with it. It'll be pretty close to the end of the room, maybe another
look
here.
At this, back-to-back Rockets for Firebroth. He does drop the orb. 40Watt is done with the room. 409. Tournament PB is in play. Tournament PB's in play.
He used that smart bomb at the perfect time to get that room cleared. It was great.
He certainly did. He's got the orb to maybe do a ball buster here. He's looking to get 540 or better, so he's looking at about an 81-second fight. Lobbers to start things off for 40Watt. And Firebroth is going to find himself 20, maybe 20 and a half seconds behind 40Watt. That's his biggest deficit going into this room.
Buy that for $1.
40 getting lobbers, able to just get rid of the two gunners on the front, and now he's going to just keep pounding away. He's got some more lobbers there. He'll probably not grab those because of the movement of Twin Man there.
Firebroth used the Rockets to take down the gunners up front, gets lobbers of his own, almost gets run over. Has a little bit of lobbers, able to sneak in and grab the refill, but not before getting electrocuted. Oh, that would have been a spreader.
40, meanwhile, has just been getting lobber after lobber over here. He's got the second arm off and a spreader. Now will Mutoid sit on this one too?
He will! Again! I don't believe this!
He pushed him up out of the way, and it was just enough for him to not grab it, so now he's going to have to get manual damage on him. Basically, when you're manualing, it's the same as the exploit with the shield, but you're just getting the barrel of the gun in there. So he was able to do that.
Still about a form, not even a form behind. He's landed some good lobber damage there. And now a spreader for Firebroth. Will he be able to get to it? He should, yes.
Unbelievable. It's every match with these Cinderella story spreaders coming out at the last moment for Firebroth, able to get some damage out.
But here's a spreader for 40Watt, but he gets run over. Empty drop though for Firebroth, and opening maybe for 40Watt. Here's a lever, though, for Firebroth. It's very close between the two. It's going to be no transfer damage this time for Firebroth. It's going to come down to who does the final form better. Yes, lobbers, lobber refill, final form for 40Watt. Firebroth in the lead. Can he hold on? Will he get the sweep? Oh, he gets hit!
40 with these grenades. Will it be enough to get him through this form? I don't know, but he gets lobbers. This should be enough to take him through this.
Empty drop! 40Watt might win. He does! And this time, it's 40Watt who comes from behind on the final form, and he stays alive in the match. Barely. That empty drop was enough.
Yeah, the drops went back and forth there. One moment 40 had the advantage, the next Firebroth did, but ultimately 40 was able to sneak it out at the end.
He got hit. Remember that in the final form, that Twin Man has a much bigger hitbox than what it appears. Firebroth got run over with lobbers in hand, got an empty drop, and that was the difference right there. If that doesn't happen, this match is over. Instead, 40Watt has forced a game 5.
Yeah, unbelievable how close these matches have been. It's just been to the last second on each and every one.
My word, this match, I mean, the way this is going down, I'm going to tell you right now, see it, Jax. If somehow, some way, 40Watt comes from behind and wins this 4-3, or if he even forces a game 7, is this the match of the tournament?
I mean, it's been every match so far in this match has been a nail biter, so you'd have to think it'd be a really high contender for it.
Absolutely. So I think in a sense, 40Watt's going to want to win this to put that up for consideration, because you're right. All of these games have been close. They've been nail biters. They've come down to the final form. It's hard to say what's going to happen here, but if 40WattRange pulls this off, or at least forces a game 7, you have to believe this is going to be at the top spot for match of the tournament. Both runners are ready. I'm going to count them down.
Yeah, I don't see how this couldn't be up for consideration for one of the best matches if it goes all 7. But I believe they're counted in, and we're going to be taken off here in a second.
So 40-watt range on his way to trying to pull off the reverse sweep of the Cinderella story Firebroth. 40-watt range, a little bit of momentum on his side. Maybe the RNG tides are starting to turn. Here we go. Game number 5 between 40-watt range and Firebroth. Firebroth up 3-1.
Well, you got to think that last game gave 40 a little confident boost. You know, he got one under his belt. So let's see what happens. Try to put down another one.
Both of them have their Razor Shield and vulnerability for Firebroth. 40-watt going to ignore that foot. Here's a smart bomb for Firebroth. Let's see if he decides to use it. He's going to ignore it. He knew he didn't have enough points. And actually, it is going to be, I believe, yes, by maybe a fraction of a second, Firebroth with the hole shot, but you're talking barely.
Yeah, another just neck and neck.
You know what? It is neck and neck because 40-watt was closer to the door.
Opening drop rockets. That's a nice drop to start with. Let's see what we can get to accompany that for Firebroth. Well, rockets for 42.
Yep, absolutely. So right now it's equal opportunity drops for both players. A foot for 40-watt. He's going to ignore it, keep control of the middle, get as much firing as he can, and vulnerability for Firebroth. He can shred through these foot soldiers. Now grenades 40-watt trying to force an orb. Instead, he does force a rocket, able to get through all these shrapnels here, and he is going to take the lead with a low 122. Firebroth about 2.5 seconds back.
Yeah, those rockets that dropped at the end enabled him to clean up everything a lot faster than Firebroth and take the lead there.
Once again, the problem is no orb for either, but the swirl getting out of control there for Firebroth, able to take it down. Invulnerability for 40-watt, he can conserve those rockets as long as he possibly can. Now rockets for Firebroth. So the way this is going, but look at this. An orb on the left side for Firebroth. If that orb doesn't show up for 40-watt, we're going to see a Firebroth lead here.
Yeah, I mean, when you're in this room and you don't have an orb, that's all you're trying to do. You're grabbing every drop you can to try to have as many spawns, as many chances to get that orb to drop, because the next room you will immediately start bleeding time if you don't have it.
And look at this, because of that orb, Firebroth actually takes the lead on 40-watt. He made up about 3 seconds in that room, just better drops than what 40-watt had. A little bit out of control there. Spreader is a good opening drop in this room for Firebroth. The smart bomb for both. Firebroth might ignore it, though he wants to keep control of that middle. He will ignore it. Meanwhile, 40-watt with the spreader near his feet. He'll be able to gain control of the middle again, followed up by a smart bomb. Firebroth, that green shirt was getting a little bit close to his orb there. 40-watt still looking for that orb, though.
40-watt just fighting, searching for an orb.
And now the room's starting to get a little bit out of control for Firebroth. Had to dodge the middle for a moment. He's trying to get it back, but he's had a little bit of issues this game trying to keep control of the middle. Weapon's just not there, and the shrapnel picks him off! You knew! He got a replacement, unfortunately, wasn't ready for it.
Yeah, the game gave him a replacement, but they walked him right into it, and that's unfortunate. He takes another death, and this room just fell apart for Firebroth. At least you got some rockets there to be like a little consolation prize for all that.
Problem is, though, 40-watt has not gotten an orb, and because of that, he is going to take the lead, but we're talking 1.25 seconds. Another close entry time. We've played 5 games. Once again, you know what it's time for. Oh, Taco Bell. Taco Bell. Product placement with Taco Bell. Oh, man. Now, Firebroth has some rockets in that weapon. I don't know what 40-watt is. Is it rockets too? No, it's a spreader. So advantage Firebroth to start the room. But now
gets this Razor Shield, and he goes for it and grabs it. That'll give him the center, able to take out both the gunners. Firebroth had some rockets, though, and he was able to clear out everything. They're both at center with nothing now, so it's kind of even drops there for them, I guess.
It's going to be another photo finish here. The only question is who's going to be going into the Mutoid Manan first. A smart bomb, that'll give 40-watt a breather here. Foot for Firebroth, that's not going to help him much. He'll just ignore it. Dude for 40-watt, or for Firebroth, in a good spot, he'll be able to pick that up.
Yeah, he does a good job picking that up, avoiding the shrapnels. He's got a Razor Shield. He's going to try for that.
and he's able to pick it up. A good grab there, good patience shown by Firebroth. Grenades on the feet for 40 Watt, trying to force whatever drop he can. He wants better drops. The game's not giving him better drops. And look at this. For the first time all match, Firebroth is going into Mutoid Man first, 445.
Yeah, these drops for 40 just dried up. He wasn't able to take everything out. Firebroth had an orb and a razor shield, and it shows how much time you can just gain in that room.
Yeah, he's just under 10 seconds behind his 40 Watt and no orb. Firebroth has an orb. We'll see if he's able to get the ball buster. Starting things off with the lobber, doesn't get the ball buster, so not able to take advantage of having the orb. Able to get both gunners out. It's lobbers for both players now. Right now, the situation is if Firebroth keeps getting consistent weapons, this fight just very well boiled down to a better, who's going to get that spreader first. 40 Watt gets a spreader. He's going to have to go manual, and he gets run over. So not able to take advantage of the spreader there is 40 Watt.
Yeah, he went for it. I mean, I would go for it too, but him dying pretty much like let Firebroth stay about a half form ahead.
Well, here's a good player 2 spot for a spreader, and Firebroth's going to try to get some manuals in. There's another spreader. He's going to take the intentional. It's a long ways to go. He'll be able to get to it.
He'll get this one.
But 40 Watt got a spreader and dealt some damage to take the lead, but that lead might be switching. But Firebroth gets run over again. Not able to get to the rockets. He's blocked off by Mutoid Man for more rockets, so I think 40 Watt's going to keep that lead as the head should be popping up shortly.
Yeah, Mutoid Man lasered him over there, but he was able to get back, and they gave him some lobbers, so he's still going to be probably about a half form ahead, a quarter form ahead.
Oh, it's close right now. This could come down to who gets that next spreader. Lobber for 40 Watt, but it's final form time. It's rockets for Firebroth. He needs a spreader, otherwise 40 Watt's going to force game number 6.
Yeah, these grenades, if he can get all of these, then that lobber should finish it up.
This is looking really good for 40 Watt. Firebroth doesn't get the spreader. 40 Watt gets a spreader. This should be enough to take down Mutoid Man. If not, the lobber certainly will be. Final form for Firebroth, but too late. It is 40 Watt who keeps the match alive. Game number 6 on tap.
Yeah, definitely. He just went in there. He got the spreader at a good time, got a lot of lobbers, landed a lot of shots, was able to come back, take this match, and keep himself alive for another one.
Absolutely here. The final time is going to be a 6:59 for 40 Watt. Firebroth going to be about a 7:20 something here. So once again, very close match between the two, but you're absolutely right. That early spreader that 40 Watt was able to get, take a lead on Firebroth, and that was just enough to force game number 6 by about 22 and a half seconds.
Just incredible matches tonight. I mean, both runners just back and forth fighting for the lead. It's coming down to drops. It's just insanity. It's what you like to see when you see a Smash TV match.
Oh, absolutely here. And I'm telling you what, it's like history is repeating itself all over again here, CHX. As I mentioned earlier, when Firebroth took out Space Colonizer, he was up 2-0. Just needed 1 to finish off the job. He was up 3-0 against the 3rd annual champion 40WattRange. But 40 Watt has come back, taking the last 2. Are we going to have the reverse sweep? Well, only time will tell. I'm going to get these runners ready.
Yeah, it's been outrageous tonight. I think that this match, I don't know. 40 Watt's been on a roll now. I think he might try to force this game 7. I know I want to see it. I know you guys want to see it. LOZ is going to be counting them in a second, and we'll be underway.
Absolutely here. I mean, a Cinderella story here, but 40WattRange doing his best to try to turn that carriage into a pumpkin. They're both ready. I'm counting them down. So far, we've had 5 Mutoid Man entries, and the person who has gone in there first, CHX, has lost 4 times.
Interesting. I hadn't been keeping track of that.
Yeah, the only one that was won was when 40WattRange had, I believe, the 7-second lead on Firebroth, and he was able to hang on barely there to force game number 5. But here we go. That is in the past. It's game number 6 between 40WattRange and Firebroth. 40 Watt trying to come back from 3-0 down to force a deciding game number 7. Firebroth looking to close it out right here.
Both of them with that Razor Shield using the same tactics they've been using all day. Looks like 40's a little bit ahead on this one.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be ahead with a 39 mid. Firebroth going to be in there with a low 42. You're talking about a 2.5 second lead here, which may not seem like much, but we've seen a lot of close matches already in this. And rockets to start the good old vitamin R for 40-watt Firebroth. Game needs to
And
give
a
him
Razor
something.
Shield.
Would you believe an orb for Firebroth?
I mean, you love to see it. They both got good drops. Let's see if 40 can get an orb and
That was great patience there. Did you see Firebroth? He was about to approach the orb, but then waited just in case a foot soldier came through that door, which it didn't. But that was good patience and good veteran skills there that Firebroth showed at that door. Good patience. But it is 40-watt with the lead with the 118. I would pick up, yeah, good idea there. Firebroth mitigated some time loss there. He is still 6 seconds back.
yeah, that was a great use of that smart bomb to clean the room. This is the first shot that
Man,
we're trying to get-
Firebroth in trouble, and somehow, how did he not lose that orb?
Unreal. That swarm had a homing target on him, and he just kept firing away. I think he had to hit every piece of it to get rid of it.
Not just the swirl, but the foot soldiers. They should have grabbed that orb. Somehow, some way, he was able to keep that orb. That could have been disastrous there.
Well, 40 has picked up a orb while all of that craziness was going on, so...
Yeah, he actually picked that up before the end of collect power-ups. He's in there at 2:01. Firebroth is going to still be 6 seconds back, 2:07.
40 getting unreal drops to start here with rockets and a Razor Shield in center, just plowing everything, just melting the whole room.
Shrapnel.
Gets to use that too.
Oh no, the sabotage on Firebroth. He had rockets and then grenades on the feet, lost about half of that clip there, but is able to still keep control of the center and is rewarded with a Razor Shield.
Yeah, the game made it up to him after. They're like, yeah, we'll troll you, but we'll give you the nice one after.
There's a smart bomb for Firebroth. Will he use it or just decide to keep control of the middle? He's just going to decide to keep control of the middle. Meanwhile, 40-watt not really getting anything else to complement that Razor Shield and orb. That key is in a horrible spot. Rockets now for Firebroth. 40-watt's still going to have the lead coming out of this room, but that lead might shrink. It's 258 as a smart bomb used by Firebroth, and it's 3:04. It's still a 6 second lead, and for the 6th time, we've got Taco Bell product placement with Taco Bell.
Yeah, that was a good smart bomb used by Firebroth. It was a little bit before the end of the room, but it cleaned up the shrapnels, and he was able to just plow out the rest of the swarmers and keep one pace.
No weapons for either player to start tank trouble, and it's a bad drop with a bad placement for 40-watt. If Firebroth can get a rocket, we may see a lead change. Instead, it's also a foot, so nothing to write home about.
Game kept it even, so we can see what these players are made of.
Absolutely here. That's what you want to see is equal opportunity drops here. Firebroth in the corner now as he's able to take down both gunners. Both gunners not down for 40-watt. Now they are, as 40-watt does some good dancing with the invulnerability to pick up that smart bomb. But here comes the vitamin R for Firebroth. And more rockets now for Firebroth.
Yeah, they've both been running all over the arena trying to maintain their orbs, so not going to be the fastest time out of each, but now with these rockets and this Razor Shield, Firebroth should be able to stay on pace.
And 40-watt losing the orb at the very end, so he will not be able to have an opportunity to do a ball buster. Firebroth, this should be close to the end of the room here, and it is the end of the room. 4:23 is the time. Good smart bomb. He'll gain 3 seconds. 4:26. Once again, we're close. Are you surprised? I'm not.
Not at all. And that was the same as the other room. He used that smart bomb at the end. It helped him clean it up, and he gained some time on 40. Same way.
Rockets, but 40-watt's going to have to wait as Firebroth can use the invulnerability just to clear the gunners up.
For 40-watt.
Oh, he's going to get blocked. Not this time. No ball buster for Firebroth. So a chance for 40-watt to take somewhat of a lead here. He was able to get one for him, but that's all. Firebroth, no weapon, and right now the second arm's already popped off for Firebroth. Meanwhile, the first arm pops off for Firebroth, Second arm popped off for 40-watt,
Yeah, 40-watt was able to get about half of that spreader with the with the exploit damage. So
and another spreader.
Smoking it.
Firebroth getting an invulnerability, and now another empty drop. 40-watt. The RNG may be turning the tide here.
He had manual, but got ran over, got some lobbers to come back, and he'll be able to keep pounding that damage away.
And now it's ultimate troll toy man on Firebroth. Whatever it was sitting on it. Now a grenade in a bad spot. This is looking real good for game number 7.
And another spreader for 40. He's going to go for the manual on this one as well. And he gets hit by the little vibration on Mutoid Man.
So a bad break there is still up by more than a form on Firebroth. Final form now is that spreader coming too late. Firebroth needs to see a spreader now, or we're going to a game number 7.
Yeah, unless 40 gets some empty drops here, it's looking like he's pretty good.
There's one. But Firebroth still has not seen a spreader this entire fight, and but 40 gets run over and an empty drop.
He wasn't after that. He went just full force at him.
Still needs a spreader, though. Still needs a spreader. Lobber, he gets a spreader, but this is in a bad spot, and it's over anyways. 40W has come all the way back from 3-0 down to force a game 7.
Yeah, the game gave Firebroth a couple spreader chances there, but they were just not, it can't give you that many in one match. I mean, it's unreal.
No. Oh, my goodness gracious here. And 40WattRange is one game away from pulling off the reverse sweep. And I'm going to have to check with our tournament admin, Bryce Wolf here. Has there ever been a 3-0 come from behind victory to win it 4-3? Because I don't know if that's happened before, Mark.
I don't know of one. So Firebroth's going to put up a 724. He just didn't have the drops from Mutoid Man, but, he still put up a decent time for what he could use.
Absolutely. The drops now, I think the little catchphrase that I love to say here, CHX, the RNG favoring the favorites, I think it was just teasing 40W those first 3 games of the match. Now the RNG is starting to favor the favorites here.
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning of the match, it was going off Firebroth, but you can see how it's turned and given 40 a lot of the good drops now in the second half. So we got this one match, all of it. Winner still goes on to the second chance bracket, or winner goes on to play me. Loser goes to the second chance bracket, and I'm excited to see who it is, because either one of these runners is going to be a handful for me to deal with in the next round.
Yeah, and Dr. Curly Tech asking if all of Firebroth's matches have gone to the decider. The answer to that is yes. This is no stranger for Firebroth. He's been in this position every time so far in the tournament, and every time he has won the decider. Will he be 3 for 3 in winner-take-all games, or will the trend be bucked by 40W? We're about to find out.
Either way, either outcome, it's going to be an epic match. It has been all night, and I'm excited to see it. These guys are getting counted in. Let's go. One more match. Smash TV. I'm ready.
Me too here. It's all coming down to this, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 7 between 40WattRange and Firebroth. If 40WattRange wins, he will pull off the reverse sweep, which will be the first of this tournament. Again, I'm not 100% sure if this is the first time it's happened in a best of 7. It very well might be. Again, I'd have to check with Bryce Wolf. We'd have to check records and whatnot. But here we go. Razor Shield for both.
Either way tonight, it's going to be a reverse sweep or an underdog win, which is going to be epic.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what you love to see in these Super Smash TV tournaments. You just love to see these back and forth seesaw affairs. David versus Goliath. They've both shown their skills, but the RNG has dictated more or less this entire match every game. But Firebroth is going to have the whole shot, 40.5 to about a 41.25. Let's call it a 3/4 second lead for Firebroth.
You'll need it.
All right, and we're here to collect power-ups. First drop's an all-important drop. We get a foot for Firebroth and a grenade. Neither one good. They're both gonna, Firebroth's gonna pick that up. They're actually gonna both pick it up. So let's see what happens.
It's a spreader for Firebroth and vulnerability, and then grenades. That was the last of the grenades. Now rockets. So 40W was able to force a better drop. Firebroth getting back-to-back invulnerabilities. More rockets now for 40 watts, so maybe the RNG really is starting to favor the favorites here. Smart bomb used for Firebomb. Not the end of the room, however. He gets run over. He thought that was the end, and he was wrong. 124 for 40 watt. And Firebroth's going to find himself about 6 seconds back at 130. No orb for either.
Yeah, that's a pretty costly mistake for him there. I mean, he just got ahead of himself, thought he was cleaned up the whole room, and, got taken out at the door.
Does get those rockets before the swirl runs him over, and an orb on the feed for Firebroth. Not sure if that's a great thing or not, because he probably wanted to conserve those rockets, but at least he has the orb, something that 40 watt doesn't have yet.
Yeah, I'm never going to say no to an orb in this room. I will grab that every single time.
And rockets on the south door, which he'll be able to finish up the room with. Not done with the room just yet. You're going to have to be patient. It is 2:08 for 40 watt. Still not the end of the room for Firebroth. It is now. He gained about a second and a half on 40 watt.
But 40 watt was able to get an orb together, clean that room up, stay ahead, and now he's got a spreader to clear everything out and a razor shield to stay center. He's looking good. Firebroth got rockets though, so he's just melting all these guys.
Yeah, 40 watt, that had to be the last drop of Eat My Shrapnel, because he was orbless until then, so a huge break for 40 watt, because he could have found himself trailing, but now, as long as he keeps the middle, as long as he doesn't lose that orb, he'll stick with the lead. And right now, Firebroth getting a little bit overwhelmed, does get a spreader, as 40 watt still has that full razor shield, is now a little bit starting to burn off. He is going to pick up the grenades, probably to force a better drop, and he does force a better drop.
Yeah, 40's just getting rockets this whole room, just better drops in general, and using them. He's out of there under 3 minutes.
2:59, but Firebroth, not to be outdone, 3:07. Let's call it a 7.5 second lead. And let's call it for the 7th time, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Taco Bell, product placement with Taco Bell. 7 for 7. It doesn't get any better than that, CHX.
Yeah, these runners have just been on pace with each other all night. It's been exciting. It's good. Just what you want to see.
Rockets, and there was enough of the clip left for 40 watt to finish the room. Now, Firebroth has some left. Will he be able to finish them off? Yes, he had enough.
Yeah, he used those really well. Taking those 2 clips to get out the gunners is the smart move there.
Absolutely. Both of them doing a really good job with the limited clip of rockets that they had left over. Now it's going to come down to who gets the better drops here in tank trouble, who can keep control of that middle. Firebroth and 40 watt. Rockets now for 40 watt. They're both doing a really good job keeping the middle, but the drops are starting to favor the favorites here. It's a razor shield for 40 watt after that rocket. But again, Firebroth holding his own with what the game's been given to him, but 40 watt is going to have the lead with the 412. Rockets for Firebroth. This might be enough to end the room here. Not quite, as another tank approaches. So it is kind of a sizable lead early for 40 watt, but Firebroth, again, did a really good job with what was given to him, and he's still in the running, 18 seconds back. But here's a spreader for 40 watt.
Well, this is a good start for him coming out, and he's going to get probably 2 arms off with it. Oh, unless he gets gunned right there. He got 1 for him, though.
Yep, he got guns, and he will be able to get the lobbers, though, as Firebroth. And a key. Oh, and now a spreader for 40 watt. He's going to have to go manual, though. And he gets shot, as does Firebroth. Wait on the glitch droid!
Using that spreader, getting good manual damage. Gets killed, but he has a spreader. Let's see if he can grab it. He might be able to because of that.
He will be able to. If he gets another spreader or an invulnerability, it's another spreader, but it's in a bad spot. He gets run over. He won't be able to get this one. I was going to say, if that's another spreader, we're talking tournament record possibility here.
Yeah, if he would have grabbed that spreader, it would have been on the table for sure. But he's still putting up good pace. He's got grenades now. Firebroth got lobber, so he's going to probably get the arm to pop, but these grenades are going to put him into the final forms. Got a sizable lead. Let's see what happens.
There's a spreader, but Firebroth, that's not in a good spot. He's going to have to go for the manual here if he decides to go for it. It is final form for 40 watt, and it is looking like it is going to happen, folks. Penultimate form for Firebroth, but it's going to be too little too late, as we just need a few. Well, not so fast. 40 watt gets run over, and it's an empty drop. Final form for Firebroth. Oh, this isn't over yet, but this rocket might be.
It's going to be close. He's got these lobbers. He's just got to land the shots. But 40's rockets were enough to get them. He's able to keep.
So Firebroth
Sweep, come back.
pulls off the reverse sweep, and the Cinderella story is not over, but it has just taken a detour.
Yeah, unfortunately, Firebroth wasn't able to capitalize on any of the lobbers he got on that last form. He got, I think he got ran over or sniped. I can't remember. But it wasn't quick enough to catch 40. 40 just had a bigger lead going in and was able to take it back and force the rematch between me and him for the next bracket.
Absolutely. My goodness gracious. And again, Firebroth not out of the tournament. He is probably going to be disappointed in the fact that he couldn't bring this match home. But again, he is in the money no matter what happens. So he will go down into the bonus bracket.
I mean, Firebroth put up a valiant effort. He gave us a real good show, came out swinging, took 3 games at the beginning. I mean, he's got to be happy with his performance, even though he didn't take the victory tonight.
Yeah, absolutely here. So big congratulations to the both. And I'm telling you right now, this has to be match of the tournament. No question about it. No ifs, ands, or buts. I mean, if you can think of a better match than this one, good luck. You'll need it.